What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here with VYPE in the Coach's Corner. We're going to San Antonio. Smithson Valley is that super program led by one of the deans of Texas high school football coaching, Larry Hill. Coach, welcome in. Y'all get to the state final game last year. Are y'all recharged coming into 2024?
Well, I think so. We were obviously disappointed in the outcome of the finals, like I guess half the teams that get there are. But yeah, we're excited. We've had a good off season, good summer thus far, and our players are raring and ready to go. I think they all are across the state right now.
Let's call it 3 decades. 3 decades of being there. Just talk about when you got there. It was kind of similar to like a North Shore in Houston. They had never been to the playoffs, not a good record. You were kind of doing the same thing at the same time at Smithson Valley. Just how do you flip a program like that from not really having expectations to now the expectations are a state championship?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's one thing you can put your finger on. You just okay, yeah, it was this one factor or this one set of circumstances. We rolled up our sleeves and went to work, kind of tried to sell our players a vision. But those first couple of teams, I mean, that had to become a belief without evidence. There was not really any evidence that could work. But you mentioned a lack of success. They were eager for something, and you credit those first couple of teams for buying in. A little bit of a rough record the first year, but becoming competitive in all the games. There you go from losing bad to losing by 3, by 7, by 6. But nonetheless, you're losing. And but those were baby steps, and then you have a breakthrough year and get in the playoffs, and then the belief is there a little bit more. And then we were just able to keep building on that. And, success breeds success. And we've had a coaching staff that have stayed together a long time. We've completed 31, getting ready to be 32 seasons here. There's myself and 2 of our guys have been here all 32 of those years. And others have been here, a while. So I think there's that. And then, you look up and you've had a whole generation of players come through that really don't know that it could be another way. And that presents a different set of challenges because you got to make sure complacency or an expectation, of winning is not taken too lightly. And so it's still a challenge. You have problems whether you're winning all the time or losing all the time, and they're just different sets of problems. But we just kind of had some things go our way, and then next thing we're supposed to win, I suppose.
You have a family tree of coaches. It's the game has probably changed as it relates to coaching, but you're from a coaching family. Was
Yeah.
it always, this was always going to be your destiny, let's call it?
Well, of course, growing up, I was going to have a 15, 20-year career in the NFL.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I was an all-pro player. That didn't seem to quite manifest itself, so that didn't come to pass. But I think my brother and I knew from the get-go that we were going to be football coaches. Yeah, to answer your question, I never really considered anything else for a career, nor did he. You never know exactly how it'll play out, but I mean, I never thought about getting a job or anything. I always thought it would be this. And of course, my sons have done that. His son, who's on our staff, is doing that. And I've got 5 grandsons. Hopefully, they can have a little higher aspirations. We need to maybe change the narrative a little bit, but or maybe not. But yeah, we're from a coaching family, and proud of it. And that was all started by my dad, who's 93 years old and still with us, still advising us.
Just talk about the thousands of lives that you have affected. People measure it by wins and losses, but
Right.
you really can't measure it by that, because what's so cool is, talking to coaches over the years, having those first teams, those athletes come back, and now their parents are, they're really big community members. What do you hope that over the years, how have you affected kids? What do you hope they learned?
Well, what you hope is they're better men and better at what they do because they were in your program. I mean, we didn't train them to become a lawyer. We didn't train them to become a policeman, or we didn't train them to become a ditch digger. But maybe they're a better lawyer, a better policeman, a better ditch digger. They have a higher standard of expectation. They have a higher standard of performance. They have a higher standard of leadership. They're better husbands, better fathers, better community members because they were in your program. Hopefully we won a ton of games along the way. Hopefully they're a great player and played a lot, but oftentimes not. But you hope they're because if we don't achieve that, if they're not better at what they do, then really all we've done is use them for our means as a means of winning games, and it needs to be more than that. And at the same time, let's don't minimize that. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We're here. We're here to win games. We're not strumming harps and singing kumbaya. We're competing and working hard and getting after it fiercely. There's no reason that you can't do it that way and still teach and try to promote character. It doesn't have to be one or the other, and we've tried to do both, and I hope that's happened. We've had 6, 7 kids now whose daddies played here for us. That now their kids are playing here, and that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool testament. You know, tremendous season last year, every year. I mean, y'all are district champs all the time. Just talk about what's coming back for this upcoming season.
Well, like a lot of programs who are high profile and have won some games, we graduate a number of seniors every year, and we're one of those programs that never has 9 back on defense and 8 back on offense. We never have that. Um, we're predominantly a senior ball club most years, but I do think we bring back 5 on defense and 2 or 3 on offense, and we've got a lot of players coming that played a significant amount, whether they were starters or not. So, we feel good about it. We don't feel good about our schedule. We wish we were playing some different people, but we've got some key areas coming back, some key leadership areas. I think sometimes people overlook that. How many players do you, how many lettermen, how many starters, and one of the things we always look at is who are the vital cogs, who's running the show, who is next year's leaders, and because you can't put a price on that. And but we do. We've got a couple of defensive guys up front that multi-year starters. Caleb Sosa, defensive tackle. Hudson Woods, who's going to only be a junior, but has 5, 6, 8 offers already. And Gage Bradlin started 30 straight games at linebacker, and now looks like he may move over and play quarterback and continue to play linebacker, which is unheard of at the 5A level. But we're looking to two-way him a good deal. We got both of our safeties, Diego Davila and PK Miller, back. So we've got some key defensive players that have played quite a bit of football. And offensively, Brody Day out at receiver, and then Brad Soursby, our running back, was 1,300-yard rusher last year prior to getting hurt in the semifinals. And I think areas of concern are offensive line. We had a total rebuild there. And in our linebacker situation, we feel good about our guys, our young guys coming, but they're not proven yet. And so we, like everybody, have got some question marks, but we got high hopes.
You hear Dallas and Houston, just talk about the state of San Antonio high school football. It seems like it's really super healthy. Just talk about, you've been there for 3 decades. Just talk about the health of San Antonio football.
Well, I think all in all, it's good and improving. I think obviously we were able to get to the finals, didn't win. Been in the finals 4 times and not won. We're still kind of looking for that, but play some teams out of the region. Of course, we came out of Region 3, playing A&M Consolidated, playing College Station, Manville, Fulshire, oh gosh, Cedar Park, Georgetown, some of those, the UIL putting us in Region 3 has kind of ventured us out and played folks outside of our normal circle, which has been tough, competitive, but good, probably raised our level of play. And so you mentioned the other big city areas and their success at the statewide level. And I think there's several of us trying to get a breakthrough there. You're judged by championships, and obviously the first one you shoot for is to get in the playoffs, win a district championship, advance to the playoffs. But looking for some of that late December success as well. Easier said than done because there are a lot of great teams around. But I do think speak to your original point, there's some teams playing at a high level around here, maybe better perhaps overall than 6, 8, 10 years ago.
Finally, what does Coach Larry Hill do for fun? I mean, you gotta. How do you turn it down? How do you check out from football and have fun with the family? What do y'all like to do?
Well, when you have 6 grandkids, 5 of them boys, when they're over in the pool, Pawpaw's job is to sit there, stand up, get in there about waist high, and you just keep counting to 6. Okay. While the moms and dads go off and enjoy things and watch TV or whatever they do, you just stand there and count to 6. So I do a lot of counting. That's a good thing. And I probably don't do enough. I'm a little guilty of being at work too much, like a lot of men are, I suppose. But I'll try to throw a line in the water every now and then, see if we can pull something up. Caught a 120-pound marlin the other day. Took a day or two there during the 4th of July week. I found out I'm a little too old to have a 45-minute fight with a 120-pound marlin. The adrenaline wore off after about 15 minutes. And that last half hour, I was feeling my age. But those are the kinds of things I do. But a little guilty of being married to my job, and that's not, I don't say that with anything other than sorrow. But um, cut up with friends and family, I suppose.
All right, watch out for Smithson Valley. The Rangers again, preseason favorites to get through that district and make a run. This is Coach Larry Hill. Coach, congrats on a tremendous career. I mean, that goes without saying. Almost 300 wins. It's just like that's a real true testament of time. A and B, the impact you've had on kids. Thanks for all you do. Hey man, this is Matt with VYPE. We'll see you at the games.
All right. Thanks for having me on.